Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio. We are brought to you by championnews.net, where you can get your copy of the Illinois Pension Scam book. This book is full of stories and tells you about what administrators are getting what kind of salary on your taxpayer dime. So go to championnews.net and get the Illinois Pension Scam book. And pensions. Okay, you're in Springfield.
Right.
Are they doing anything about this? Are they? What are they doing?
We are. You know what? Governor Quinn blames it on the General Assembly. We have.
Governor Moonbeam.
We have worked on pensions. The pension committee has worked on pensions, and they have placed in front of the General Assembly multiple pension bills, which we have passed. And passed on to the Senate over and over. Real reform that will affect COLA. Every year every teachers
3%
or public sector get 3% compounded. Compounded. Great benefit. A promise the state gave but couldn't deliver, can't deliver, we can't afford it, it's unsustainable. So in the House, we said in our true pension reform, besides increasing the age of retirement, increasing a contribution, and eliminating that compounded COLA where the true savings comes in, we passed it. We passed it out of the House. The Senate passed their own version without really affecting COLA, so the savings wasn't there. Madigan passes our bill, Cullerton passes his bill over. Our bill failed in the Senate, our House bill failed in the Senate, and we never heard Cullerton's bill. So the General Assembly did what we were told to do, create reform and vote on it. We voted on it, and it
bipartisan.
Bipartisan, had to be bipartisan. But Jack brought up in the last segment the IEA and unions and the effective, how effective they are. And it's also AFSCME and the public sector unions as well. You really, unless you have, and dare use the word permission from them to pass things in the state of Illinois, things don't get passed. And the fact that Madigan was able to pull off a majority pension reform out of the House was a great feat. Did he know that it wasn't going to pass in the Senate and we knew it was going to go where? I don't know.
He knows exactly what's going to happen because he makes it happen. Whatever he.
So it was another Madigan game that we're all just foolish players in. And
he's providing votes for people in threatened districts. That he'll let those in threatened districts where the Republicans are making gains on them, he'll let them do the right thing because he's got all the votes he needs anyway. So he just manipulates, you're going to vote this way, you're going to vote that way. He's just taking care of the election that's coming on.
And in the meantime, this state drowns in its own debt.
We're in crisis.
Absolutely.
Wait,
they created it,
okay,
and they don't have the guts to admit that they did cause this thing. And incidentally, the other thing that's wrong that they aren't really dealing with, they're mainly dealing with the people that are still in the pension, that are still teaching and still in the process. What they aren't dealing with is $160 billion of debt of the ones that have already gone. Right. I mean, just think the superintendent. I mean, I really have no respect at all for the 860, the majority of them, of the 860 superintendents of the school districts in Illinois. They are mostly just guys that are there to fool the parents into thinking their kids are getting an education, and for the rest of it, they're there to pass the next referendum. So the superintendents are making huge salaries, typically, and certainly in all the north of the state. Things are a little different if you get away from Chicago. They're more American downstate and western, so please pardon my comments. Shouldn't be taken for the more rural sections where they make sense despite Madigan. But this pension thing has gotten us to $160 billion is the debt. Some estimates range up to $200 billion. Underestimates are like $60 billion. So there's no way to pay it. So now you got this stuffed shirt of a superintendent that's on the job at typically $200,000 a year, more or less. Maybe more than $300,000, maybe $400,000, but probably around 200. So he retires at age 55, and everybody's living longer, and his average will be to 85. So you got to parade, because they graduate these things out of the district, because this is all a racket. He's not there for a lifetime job. He's got most of his life left to lead. So 5 years after he quits his $200,000 a year job and gets a $200,000 a year pension going up at 3% a year and so forth. So what you have is a parade of 6 or 7 or 8 superintendents approaching 85 or 90 years of age that's getting this pension from a ridiculous 55 years old. And so you've got one guy on the job at $200,000, and you got a parade of them at $200,000. So what you're paying is typically 7 times $200,000, of roughly $1.5 million a year to occupy one position. The same thing is true of their superintendents,
and the high-paid teachers.
And
the thing is, the state promised that to them.
Yeah.
It's a promise they can't deliver on it.
Yeah.
And it's now up to this General Assembly to say, I am the messenger, and retired teachers can't stand it.
We're going to hear more.
Tough
We're going to hear
question.
more for solutions.
Okay.